Have you ever wondered what it takes to turn art into a thriving creative business before you even finish high school? Today's guest is proof that age is no barrier when talent, parental support, and vision come together. Hello and welcome to Season 10 of the Womenpreneur Asia podcast, and I'm your host, Krista Gun. My mission is to uncover the stories and strategies of Asian women entrepreneurs to inspire and guide you on your own entrepreneur journey. This episode is brought to you by Redbox Studio. Today you are listening to Danya Adriana Feri, my youngest podcast guest to date. At just 17 years old, Danya has already built a name for herself as an abstract artist, selling bold and vibrant pieces that celebrate Malaysian heritage. From her first painting during lockdown to commissions for major clients like YTL and Marriott, she's charting a path that many adults only dream of. But what makes Danya's story truly stand out isn't just her colorful art or her love for art. It's how she's learning entrepreneurship in real time, balancing studies with her creative practice and envisioning her future studio as a hub for community, children, and culture. Along the way, she's had unwavering support of her mom, who also happens to be her manager and cheerleader. In this conversation, we explore how Danya discovered her style, the challenges she faced as a young creative entrepreneur, and why she believes more young Malaysians should embrace and showcase our cultural heritage. Her story might just change the way you see art as a business and challenge your idea of what an entrepreneur artist looks like. Let's get into Danya's story. Hello, Danya. Welcome to Womenpreneur Asia.
Hello.
So, Danya, you are my youngest podcast guest ever. And you're only 17 years old, but you're actually creating a lot of good things for yourself. So I'm really excited to interview you today.
I'm really excited for this interview too. And this is also my first time on a podcast.
Oh, really? Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
So I hope after this you get on many, many different podcasts and get interviewed by other people as well, all over the world, not just in Malaysia. I know your story is really interesting because you started very young in your career. But tell me a little bit about what you're doing.
My name is Danya and I'm 17 years old. Currently, I'm staying in Semenye and my school is I'm taking economics stream in my school.
You were saying that you just finished your SPM trials, which is a major exam that's coming up soon, right? This is just the trials, but the big exam is coming up soon. So how are you feeling about that?
When I received the schedule for the actual SPM, which will be in October 26, I was actually really excited. I don't know why, but I was kind of excited to just sit on the exam and get it over with straight away. I was actually really happy. Oh my god, finally I know when this is gonna start, I know when this is gonna end.
I think because you also have so many things happening in your life besides school, besides exams, right? So that is why we're here today. We're here to talk about what you do outside of school. So Danya, I saw your work and your work is really art, right? So your art started at a very young age. So can you let us know a little bit about how you started getting into art and how that has progressed for you for the last couple of years?
Doing PKP because it was lockdown and it was boring to me. I had nothing else to do. Before that, I was already interested in art. I take my art class really seriously, even though my teachers, they don't really focus on art. And after the PKP, I saw lots of videos on abstract art, and I saw this guy, he was doing his abstract, and I thought it was really easy. So I asked my mom if she can buy me some supplies. So she did, and I tried to replicate what he does, and I made it exactly like he does, and I think it was really pretty, and I showed it to my mom. She liked it a lot, so she bought me more stuff, and I even showed it to my relatives, my uncles, and they liked it too, so they began to buy my painting. At first, I started really small, just like A3 paper, and back then I used oil pastel, like pencil pen, and I just do exactly the tutorial, and Usually it's just A4, and then I start progress to A3 during my SK art, and then I just gradually make it bigger. And I think when I was 14, I saw this one art. It was really messy, and I really like it, so I tried to replicate it. So, but it was kind of hard to replicate other people's SK art. So somehow I ended up with my own art, and so that was my first painting. To me, it's the beginning of my own art style. By then, I start just like making more of my art to that style, and I use a lot of vibrant colors, as you can see. So I like to experiment with new colors when I do my abstract art and any other art. Yeah, so that's how you can see how my colors are like bold, vibrant, and the shapes that I put in my art, the unique shape, it just like it came out of my mind.
I've seen your art, so it's a little bit unfair, but for me to describe it, because I know how it looks like. But if someone has not seen your art, just say you're talking to someone over the phone, and someone says, "Okay, can you describe your art, Danya? What is it all about?"
When they look at my art, let's say that person is talking on their behalf, so that this is my art. They will say it looks like a batik shape. A lot of people tell me that, so maybe people can imagine it as that, because batik shape has a lot of like unique shapes, unique colors, and I use a lot of flora and fauna, and I use a lot of leaves to make the leaves really vibrant, and I use lots of like very bold colors, really striking. And I always paint like KLCC and KL Tower, just to like put the iconic buildings in my art to interpret it as I want to see. When you say that bold, vibrant color to me, it's how I perceive Malaysia's rich of culture. If you can imagine that Malaysia is rich of culture, races, so I think it's that is what makes Malaysia really colorful. That's how I would describe it.
That's a great description of your art, because that is your art, right? That is this colorful, bold shapes and all that. I find it very interesting that you discovered your artistic style. You discovered your creative side when you were very young, at 12 years old. Is this something common in your family? Is your family very artistic?
My parents, they both study architecture. My mom, she's helping my dad with his work, and my dad, he has his own company. He builds furniture. I think really came from my parents. And my mom, she didn't want to say architecture. She wanted to say fine art, but she accidentally took it, and she said it was like the biggest mistake of her life, because that's not what she wants. My mom, sometimes she makes art too, and her arts are like as colorful and as vibrant as mine.
I know that you have done some really amazing stuff in your life with your art. So it's not just a hobby anymore.
It's not just a hobby. To me, art has really changed my life. When you become an artist, especially an abstract artist or any kind of artist really, you start looking at things like, oh, maybe you see a really old building and like, oh my god, maybe people look at it like, oh, it's a really old building, it's nothing. When I see those old buildings or any other buildings, I just feel like, oh, I want to draw that. That's really cute. Yeah, even when I look at my surroundings, I'm like, in my head, I be sketching those surroundings that I see. I think most artists feel this way. When you see people walk by the street and you're like, oh, it'd be really nice if I had a sketchbook and I start sketching now. You just feel like you take your surroundings more detailed.
And when did you realize that art could be more than just a hobby? How do you turn that into something that is right now, I would call it your art business, right? Because I know you did mention that your uncle bought your art. But when was it first bought by a non-family member?
I think it was back when I was like about 14. My mom, she searched an art gallery for me to market my art. It's called Art Market Malaysia. And when I got home from school, I was in the car and my mom was squealing. She's like really happy. So I was like, oh, why mom? What happened? She said that the painting that I displayed at the gallery was sold to Hospital Aurelia. So I was really happy that someone thinks my painting is really beautiful. That was my first time it was sold to a non-family member.
So this Art Market Malaysia, is it an online platform or offline platform?
It's an offline platform. Sometimes they do some exhibition. A lot of the exhibition they have themes. So sometimes the curator, Puan Lisa, she will tell me like, can you can you make this specific paintings for us? So I do it based on the theme.
So basically, your mom has been your biggest supporter.
Yeah.
And she's the one who's encouraging you in your art journey.
Yeah. But when I was back in PKP, she's the one who bought me those art supplies when I asked her to. And she keep pushing me. Danya, I know you can do better. You need to make more. Just do more. Just do as much as you can. And I know you can do your best.
That's so lovely to know that your mom is your biggest supporter and encourager. Because I think that sometimes when you're on this creative journey, sometimes family members may not be the most supportive. Because they probably will tell you, Danya, focus on your studies first. Do whatever you need to do to pass the exams. And then you can focus on your art, right? But I think your mom is unique. Your mom is unique because she wants not only to encourage you in your art, but she also wants to give you that platform outside of the family so that you can do something more with your art. So that's why I call you a little artist entrepreneur. So the other thing I wanted to know was, I was looking through your Instagram, right? And it feels like a digital gallery. Was this intentional when you set up your Instagram?
My mom set up the Instagram, but when I started with those abstracts, she said she don't want to lose those paintings that I made. So she posted it on Instagram so that after that, if I lose the painting, if I sold the painting, you can still view it. So that's why she helped me create the Instagram, and now she helped me handle it too. And sometimes she will help me improve my wordings on the post, what picture should I use. And we work together to create that Instagram. So it is a digital gallery for me and my mom so that we don't lose our artwork.
That's really clever, because I know as an artist, when you sell your paintings, that piece is gone and it belongs to someone else already. Do you feel a little bit bittersweet when you have sold your art, or when your art goes to the hands of the buyer?
To be honest, I don't really feel bittersweet to my art because I just saw them and I don't feel too attached to them. Except for the one I told you, the first one I made, I would never sell that one because that's my first piece. I'm actually really happy that my art can find a new home with new loving owners who view my art and love it enough to put it where they can see it every day.
How do you decide what else to share besides the art that you share on your digital gallery?
So my digital gallery is strictly professional. I don't really post my personal stuff. That one I will use my own personal account. So that one is really just my art. And my mom said we only just post like exhibition, event, if I win a contest, that's the only thing we share our art. So we don't really mix my personal life. But I think I don't really have many videos on my account. So I want to boost my audience. So in the future, I think after STM, I will create more videos, like maybe personal videos, how I start my art, how I start my painting to engage my audience more.
That's a pretty smart move, because I think these days a lot of people like to see a little bit more behind the scenes of how you create something rather than the finished product itself. So even though your art is pretty, but I think a lot of people will be more interested. I'll be more interested to see how you create your art, right? So I think that would be a great. I'll look for it on your Instagram. So I also know that right now art is not just a hobby for you. Art is really a business, and you've worked with major clients like YTL and Marriott. Tell me a little bit about that experience. How did that happen, and how did the commission start?
The director of YTL and Marriott, they really love my art. So she wanted to personally contact me. So she got the number, but it goes straight to Juanita. So she said, no, I want exactly Danya so that I can, any modifications or the art is easier to contact.
Did she know that you're a 17-year-old artist?
I think so, because Juanita, when she explained the art, like someone interested, she would just straight up say, oh, this is Danya, our youngest artist here. She's only 17.
Okay.
She usually introduces if someone was interested. Yeah, and then team YTL Marriott team, they contact me. They contact through my mom's phone if they can commission. Then my mom tell me what happened, and I was really excited to do it because the painting is really big. The one that they wanted, it was 180 to 120, one, and the other two is 120 to 120. So like it's the biggest. And honestly, I was really excited to make bigger arts. When the canvas arrived, I thought, oh my god, this is taller than me. I was honestly really happy to do it because the first time the client said that they wanted a nude color. Like I was like, no, I think vibrant colors. How am I supposed to do that? They wanted it to like tone down, to be toned down. I tried to do it toned down. I showed it to my mom and she said, no, don't do that, do it again. I changed it so many times and then I landed on this pattern and she said, oh my god, I love this one. We can go with this one. So the other two doesn't take a lot of time because I already know what to do because she already guided me through which art should I make. So the other two I finished it in about like a week. But this one is about like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It takes a lot of time.
The big one, the 180 by 120 centimeters, that's the one that took the most time for you to create. Let me just ask you about your art process.
The client, they told me what they want, Petaling Street, and they want Central Market, and they want like somewhere close to Petaling Street, whatever is around there. They want me to put it in the painting. So, and other than that, they want like traditional foods, Malaysian traditional food. I sketch it on paper first. I send it to them, and once they say, okay, this is fine, and then I begin to sketch. I sketch it first, and my mom says, okay, that's fine, and then I start painting.
And you use acrylic?
I use acrylic. I use oil pastel, and there's a bit of acrylic markers as well.
How do you feel earning that money?
I feel like rewarded for my work. I was really happy to earn that money. So I asked my mom. She took the money. She took a little bit of the money, and then she said, "Okay, this one you can how you want, or I spend it carefully." And I was just like really happy because it feels like I've done this work for like a month, so it feels like rewarding to receive it.
That's quite an entrepreneurship thing you have there. Of course, as we know, entrepreneurship is not smooth sailing. So what are some of the challenges that you face while doing this?
So, sometimes even this YTL and Marriott was like a challenge for me because it was the end of year where I'm sitting my final exam. So I have to divide my studies and to make this art. So it's really hard for me. And, it takes a lot of patience for art because it's not like when you do it, you put it in the gallery, straight away someone will buy it from you. No, which is why I want to, what can we do about art to make it more popular amongst younger kids, to like make them generate income too. And in the future, I'm hoping when I can be on a platform to be bigger, I want to sell art prints so that lots of people can enjoy my art, not just like if they buy one physical art and nobody else can get it. So I want to try making art prints because I see a lot of artists making them and selling a lot of them, and I think that's a really good business to do. And my mom, she found this website where you can put like your art on clothes or a notebook, and that it doesn't really work out because I can see why it doesn't work out because the price is kind of like obnoxious. It's too expensive to buy, like 30 for a notebook. So I feel like if I make an art print myself and I spend like a high quality print, and I want my art to be accessible to others so that other people can get it at not such an expensive price, maybe below 20, so a lot of people can have my art.
So a lot more people can really enjoy your art rather than just one piece like you. Okay, so how many pieces of big art have you produced? Whether it's commissions or whether it's personal artwork?
I think lots of it, like dozens of it. When I was 14, 15, that was really my active time. It only took me like 2 days to finish it, or maybe like just the whole day I spent. I got back from school and then I spent the whole day sketching. And right now, I think I'm not really active. I do it, but usually for competition. So I do it for competition, and I ask for my mom's help. Now I'm not really that active, but I do it sometimes on the weekends when I'm not really busy, when I'm not studying.
Once SPM is done, you have so much more time to focus on your art.
Yes, I really.
You can't wait for that, right?
Yeah, I really
You can't
can't wait
wait.
because I have a lot of ideas in my mind right now. A lot of things I want to try. But every time I want to try it, I just feel guilty because like, shouldn't you be studying right now?
Let's talk about art as a business. Do you have to pitch your
Mm.
ideas, or do you get people coming to you and say, Danya, I want you to draw something like what YTL asked you to do? How do you manage deadlines, or even how do you even negotiate terms?
I usually sit there with my mom and we both negotiate terms like, Ma, I don't think I can do this, like this is too fast. And she will say, and then we come to an agreement and we see the deadline and I say, okay, I think I can finish it by that time. So it's not that my mom do 100% for me. We both work together. No, because as you can see, I'm just a kid. I'm not really like good at doing that. So my mom, she helps me a lot.
She's basically your manager.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Yeah, so she's your manager. She helps you with all the customer facing stuff, the things
Yeah.
that the tough conversations,
Yeah.
like talking about, I guess, deadlines, pricing, when to deliver, what to deliver. Yeah. So you're the artist and she's the manager. So great pairing. I think you're very lucky that your mom is so supportive and so encouraging of your art journey. And I think that's why I was thinking, like, you know, it's very rare these days that people are so supportive of art. But I think I see that in your family. Maybe that's the reason why your mom is like, okay, she gets to help you pursue art, even though she herself did not pursue art.
Because I think maybe I'm like living the way she wants to live. You know, back then she wants to study fine art, but she couldn't do it. So she helps me go through this. And by that, I mean like she really helps me a lot. She took me to these events. She helps me organize my art, and she helps me to make emails. And sometimes I send my emails to like local news, so that I can get more exposure. And she helps me a lot with that. That's why I think she's the reason why I am here now.
Yeah, I think a lot of the credit really needs to go to your mom. And behind Danya, there is your mom.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about beyond today, because I remember when we spoke, you said that you wanted to open your own studio in the future. Tell me more about that dream. What is it all about? What's that vision?
So, you know, I really love teaching younger kids to do art. But then she makes this voluntary art workshop, and then I teach sometimes some adults too, and maybe I have a partner artist to teach with me. And I just really love like a little community where people who love art or who want to study art can gather together, create art on our own. So that's why I want to open a studio, which is I want it to be available for everyone, art lovers who want to study art or already an artist, where we can all, you know, be a community together and express our love for art, display our art, maybe make a workshop, because I really love seeing like people gather to express their love for art and do it with art. Yeah, so I want to open a studio where I can do that. After SPM, I think I want to propose to them if I can make like an art workshop there. So that I can like teach kids who love art, and I can teach them how to make something.
It seems to me you also like teaching a lot, besides creating art.
Yeah, I love teaching, especially little kids. I love little kids a lot. My little cousins, they all, you know, like color a lot of things. So I like to play with them, and I just like being around little kids. You know, they're so energetic and they're really fun to be around. So I want to like make this workshop where I can work with those little kids.
Your art journey started when you were 12 and now you're 17. So it's a good 5 years of creating art, selling art. So what's the biggest lesson you've learned about turning your passion into opportunity?
So I think if you have passion for something, anything really, like photography, you should like not just like make it like a passion, a hobby. Maybe you can like try to take it more seriously. Set up like an Instagram account where we can showcase our talents there, and then the opportunity that will come by itself. Maybe like when you like build your own platform, you show tips or you show how you do stuff. Maybe some brands that will sponsor you. So that really like opens your own, your own opportunity. Don't like take it lightly. If you have a passion for something and you know you can do more about it, push yourself forward.
How has being a young Malaysian woman influenced the way you approach your art and your sense of purpose? And I know we spoke about this in our preliminary call. You were talking about yourself as a young Malaysian woman, and also how it really works its way into your art. Could you talk a little bit about that?
History is not really my favorite subject, but as I read the textbook, I realized a lot of what the fighters of our country have done for us. So that makes me appreciate Malaysia even more. And as a woman, I think we're more like sensitive to our surroundings, to our history. That's why I think I'm able to create an art that just speaks to people emotionally. Being a woman artist in Malaysia is really an advantage for me. I really love Malaysian heritage, so I try to apply it in my art a lot.
How does a young woman like you cultivate that appreciation for Malaysian heritage? Not very many young people feel that way these days, right? A lot of them could be influenced by outside influences. Like we talked about this, they would like K-pop stuff. They were like foreign music. But how is it that you, at 17 years old, suddenly feel like, I think I should focus a lot more on Malaysian heritage and keep that heritage alive?
You can see like my generation, Gen Z artists, if they don't really draw like Malaysian heritage. So that's why I want to step up as a young Malaysian artist to show them that you're born here. This is our heritage, and there's a lot of beautiful things about Malaysia that you can put in your art. So I hope that when I present myself that way, maybe young Malaysian artists will look at me and like, yeah, she's right. Malaysia is really beautiful. Maybe I should start focusing more on making art about Malaysia. Foreigners, whoever receive my art and like, oh, so this is Malaysia. I describe Malaysia as somewhere beautiful, somewhere bold, colorful, rich in culture, age, and lots of iconic buildings and landmarks, lots of food. I hope that younger artists who look at my art, they feel the same about it, and maybe they can take a step forward and be interested in making something about Malaysia.
You're really 100% Malaysian. This also makes me want to ask you, what advice or message would you give to another young person who's listening to this and wants to start in the creative economy before they feel ready? They may be sketching or drawing or creating stuff with their hands, making things with their hands, but they may not feel that they are ready to showcase their art. What advice would you give to these young people?
I would say that don't be afraid. Make an account, Instagram account, TikTok, anything. Start posting them. And sometimes people like criticize it, but don't take that criticism to heart. Instead, take it as an advice to you, so that you can become even better in the future. Make your art and feel happy to post it. Feel happy to share it with people. Don't be afraid that people will judge you, because there's a lot of people who will encourage you that it's okay if you can do this. So if you like don't post it, just keep it to yourself, and then you don't really learn anything. People don't really know about you, right? So you really want your art to just like sit there and nobody knows them, nobody appreciates them. But if you post them, you will create a community who loves your art. You can share more, and they'll be like, oh, can you draw more, please? Can you draw this? Can you draw this? I think that's better than just keeping it to yourself.
You're a very confident young lady, and I want to know, how do you get to be confident?
Back then, I wasn't this confident, but I can say now that I have no problem making friends or talking to people. And my mom, she brings me to this exhibition with a lot of adults, which is like, to me, it's harder to talk with adults than to kids, right? So sometimes the adults, they approach me, and it's good, like, because they're not arrogant. They just come to me and say, wow, you're really young. Where do you come from? How do you start your art? And we share tips, we share how we make our art, we share like where we school. I just talk to those adults, and so I went to a lot of these events. I meet a lot of high ups people, that even some ministers as well, and I meet a lot of a lot of that. So I become more like a social person. So now at this event, I'm not this scared to person anymore. I become more social and I can talk to others, I can make friends, and I'm not really scared to face new people.
That's really wonderful. I think that is also something that as you go out and meet more people, you will definitely grow your confidence in talking to people, especially.
Exactly.
Finally, where can people find you online?
You can find me on Instagram. I post a lot there, and in the future, you can look forward to me posting more videos, more behind the scenes of how I create my art. I hope my advice will get to like younger people to be more forward with themselves.
So I really am encouraged, because I know that sometimes it's so easy to get lost in trending things, right? Like trending music, trending stuff. But there are people like you out there who are actually helping us grow our Malaysian heritage through art. So thank you so much for that.
What struck me most about Danya is her incredible clarity of vision at such a young age, and her courage to put herself out there. She's using her canvas to tell a bigger story about Malaysia's heritage, culture, and identity, and appreciating who she is as a young Malaysian woman with big dreams. Coupled with her entrepreneurial spirit and fearless ideas, she's showing us that art can be both a passion and a flourishing business. It made me reflect. How often do we hold ourselves back because we think we're too young or not ready yet? Danya reminds us that starting now, whether with a sketch, an idea, or a small step like starting an Instagram account, can open doors we've never imagined. So here's my question for you. What passion have you been keeping on the sidelines, waiting for the right time? Maybe today is the day to take that first step, no matter how small. Maybe, as Danya said, it could just be sharing what you do with more people. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd love for you to share it with a friend who needs encouragement to pursue her own creative path. And please subscribe to this podcast so you won't miss more conversations with inspiring women across Asia. And did you know Womenpreneur Asia offers more than 140 episodes that you can listen to? Until next Friday, this is Krista Gun signing off, and have a great week ahead.